Hey everybody, it's RocketBomberAndyb here, and welcome to the finale of my top 30 NES games list. Here it is, the best of the best, the cream of a crop when it comes to NES games. Well, at least in my opinion. So, first of all, disclaimer, this is a 3-part video, so if you haven't watched parts 1 or 2, I suggest you go back and watch those first. But for those of you who did watch part 1 and 2, let's get on with this. This is RocketBomberAndyb's top 30 NES games list, numbers 10 through 1. Let's finish what we started. What better way is there to kick off the finale of my top 30 NES games list than one of the most classic games ever? That's right, the original Super Mario Bros. For the NES, or as I like to call it, Platforming 101. This game defines a genre that so many other games on the NES tried to imitate, but utterly failed. This game has brought so many recognizable characters to the gaming industry. Sure, Mario, or Jumpman, also appeared in Donkey Kong and the arcade Mario Bros., but this game made Mario who he is now, a truly awesome video game character loved by millions. Which is why Super Mario Bros. Is number 10 on my list. Here it is, the best of the Castlevania NES trilogy, and also the hardest. Castlevania 3 stars Simon Belmont's ancestor Trevor Belmont in his first fight against the evil Count Dracula himself. Castlevania 3 added 2 new elements to the Castlevania formula, choosing your own path and playing as other characters. Being able to choose between different paths gives the game replayability, and as for playing as different characters, I don't think I need to explain how that's awesome. This adds a whole new layer of strategy to the Castlevania formula. You see, Castlevania isn't like Mario. You can't really speed through it. You have to plan out your movements so you can get through each area without dying a million times. And since the new characters have their own strengths and weaknesses, there's more thought to be put into your movements. I've said about all I can about this game, but it holds the title as the true sequel to Castlevania 1. Now, I'm not really much of a sports guy. Don't hate sports, but wouldn't go as far as to say I'm a huge fan either. And the same goes for sports video games as well. But then I played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES, and that changed everything. I first saw this game in a 5-part special of an old episode of Awesome Video Games. I loved to watch those back in 2006. Good memories. Anyway, after watching those episodes, I really wanted to play Punch-Out, and when I did, I was instantly hooked. This game has simple yet addictive gameplay, catchy music, and unique characters. No two boxers are alike, and it shows the effort that was put into the characters. This game is one of those games that's easy to learn but hard to master, well, at least in my opinion. And this is no more noticeable than in the later stages. As you win bout after bout, winning title after title, it all leads up to the dream bout against Mike Tyson himself. And yes, he's seriously difficult. And if you manage to beat him, you sure as heck have earned my respect in the gaming community. Well, if only that actually meant something, though. Now, I've mentioned this before, and I think this goes without saying. NES games are hard. Like, balls to the wall of hard. And no game has ever built up a legacy of being hard than good old Ninja Gaiden. This is certainly not a game for casual gamers. Seriously, casual gamers, stay away. This game is crazy hard with all the hard-to-reach jumps, the respawning enemies, and getting pushed back after you get hit, like in Castlevania. But enough about the difficulty. This game is still fun and cool with all the ninja weapons you get to use, and the on-your-toes gameplay, but the best part of the game has to be the cutscenes. Sure, cutscenes are nothing special today, but in the NES era, full-motion colored cutscenes were pretty big. Maybe just as big as the legacy of difficulty that this game has built up. Now, when it comes to RPGs on the NES, you probably think of games like the first Final Fantasy. But for me, I think many seem to overlook Dragon Quest, or Dragon Quest III in this case. The third installment of this classic RPG franchise closes the door on the Airdrip trilogy. You and 3 other allies of your choosing set out to slay the evil arching Baramos? Yeah, and game with the weird names. Anyway, with multiple character classes that you can choose for you and your allies, which can be changed mid-game, might I add, gives this game variety and choice. Even with tons of new enemies and magic spells for you to discover, it's the little things that really can add to your experience, like the game changing from day to night, and thankfully, not as annoying as in Simon's Quest. Even though Dragon Quest isn't as big as Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest III is still great, and I recommend it to RPG fans. And besides, without Dragon Quest, there would be no Final Fantasy. Easily one of the best beat-em-ups of all time, River City Ransom has you busting into River City to save your girlfriend from some high school punks. What's unique about this game is that it combines RPG elements with beat-em-up gameplay, and it works quite well. You purchase different kinds of food to raise your stats, and you purchase books to learn different moves. Once again, it's also the little things that they do, like when they name all your enemies and give them dialogue. The graphics are pretty cool for the NES, and the soundtrack is alright, especially the boss music, which is definitely the best song in the game. Action-packed and still the best NES beat-em-up ever in my opinion, River City Ransom gets my seal of approval. And gosh knows that my opinion is the best out of everybody's. I mean, if RocketBomberAndyb says it's a good game, then it must be a good game. You gotta go outside and play it right now. But, alas, if only it was like that. Let's move on to number 4. Konami's most famous side-scrolling shooter, Contra, has made boys into men with its crazy fast-paced gameplay. Once again, Contra suffers from what I like to call it, the Konami curse, making it incredibly hard. And when I say incredibly hard, I mean one-hit deaths. And it can seem pretty unforgiving to new players. So when you start the game off, you got this tiny little blaster, but you got some awesome weapons to use to make you stronger. But everybody knows the spreader is the best among them. It just wreaks havoc on anything in its path, with a long range too. But, like I've said a million times before, the difficulty of a game doesn't guarantee its fun factor. Okay, maybe I said that a little differently, but you get the point. Just because a game's hard doesn't mean it's not good. Contra's tough, but it's very epic. With a 30 live Konami code by your side, there's nothing to fear in this timeless shooter classic. Easily my favorite Mega Man game of all time, Mega Man 2 in my opinion holds the title as the best sequel ever. Now if I had to describe a sequel, I guess it would be something like this. Okay, a sequel is supposed to take the engine of the predecessor game and improve it, thus eliminating the flaws of the game that came before it. Mega Man 2 does exactly that, increasing the number of Robot Masters from 6 to 8, new power-ups and stages. The soundtrack is tight, the controls are tight, and everything about this game is just tight. Now, some people may say that Mega Man 3 is a better game, and yeah, it has more innovation, like with Rush and Proto Man and the sliding, yeah, whatever. But I feel Mega Man 2 is more classic in my opinion, and it's also one of the few NES games that I've actually beaten. Twice, in fact, making it part of my top 3. What? This game isn't number 1? Yeah, I know most people are gonna probably kill me for not putting Super Mario Bros. 3 number 1 on the top 30 NES games list, or top 10 or whatever, but let's move on. What can be said about Super Mario Bros. 3 that you already don't know, huh? I don't even think I need to explain why Mario 3 is on this list, but here I am doing exactly that, so let's just try to wing it. Sure, the original Super Mario Bros. Started off this awesome series, but Mario 3 changed the Mario formula in so many ways, and for the better, obviously. 8 different themed worlds, new enemies and power-ups, even though some were really weird. Karibo Shoe. And the addition of everyone's favorite Koopas, that's right, the Koopalings. Man, I love these guys, and girl, and you should too. To be honest, I'm really running out of things to say, because you already know why Mario 3 is so awesome. You just gotta play it to understand. I don't think that anyone can disagree that this is a great game. Never heard anyone say anything bad about this game, so yeah. I can only think of one other game that can top this one. You know, back in the NES era, games weren't just games. They were adventures. Sure, this may seem childish and kind of stupid to think so highly about a video game, but just hear me out. The Living of Zelda was really big for the NES. It seemed like there were so many things it did right for an adventure game, and even seemed to do things differently compared to some other NES games, like playing the game in a non-linear order, and fighting different and creative bosses with their own distinct weaknesses, instead of fighting, I don't know, Bowser a million times in Super Mario Bros. But the biggest innovation that Zelda made to the gaming world that's mainly overlooked nowadays, the ability to save your game. Yeah, saving your data in a game is something you're probably accustomed to, but back then, you had to enter long and tedious passwords to continue your game, and no one likes that. Not to mention that Zelda had a massive world for you to explore with tons of secrets to find in it. Zelda literally encouraged adventure and made you think outside the box. Zelda has made its impact on gaming and continues to strong following to this day, with every new game seeming to bring new adventure along with it. And isn't that what games were back then? Adventures and memories. We remember even to this day. Thanks for watching RocketBomberAndyb's Top 30 NES Games list. See y'all next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. And if you're interested in seeing more of my work, then you can click some of the videos and the annotations in front of you. Yeah, no, I mean, they're pretty good, kind of. So, I don't know, they're a pretty decently amount of okay. Kind of, sort of, okay, to an extent, just whatever. Just go watch my videos and have a grand old time. See you later.